YouTube can be an awesome platform. Everybody has at least one video that they go back to constantly. Tons of people have found honest success, and there is some lenience tactics sprinkled around that make more complex content creation and evolution possible. But YouTube can also be a garbage wasteland where the worst of the worst somehow continuously find fast success. It's the human slop revolution, and today I'm going to talk about some of the things I hate the most and love the most about creating content. Mostly hate. I'll kick this off with a love-hate relationship. Copyright. Anybody who watches my main channel stuff knows I like to make use of the permissions. I use copyrighted music in every video. There's a gigantic list of songs that creators are allowed to use, and also a lot that we aren't, so every time I make a video I have to cross-reference the list to make sure I don't get blocked worldwide. Because I use music I listen to as part of the video style, the compromises are not being allowed to make ad revenue, and often getting blocked in Russia. This is fine, right? This is a good compromise because I don't mind the microscopic ad revenue going to the respective copyright owners, and I also don't have any Russian audience anyway unless they're all using mock location, so that's not a huge loss either. This is one of the many fair ways that the copyright system protects creators on both ends. Believe it or not, it's not a sin for one creator to put a claim on another creator's video when the claim is legitimate. Like, if you see dead air reaction channels where it's just some dude sitting in front of your whole video with no input, no feedback, and no real reaction, claim that shit. That's just content theft. But this is what brings us to the elephant in the legal system. Copyright abuse is a rampant problem too. Everybody likes to blame YouTube for this issue, but the real problem isn't even the system. I'm not gonna blame the gun like it pulls its own trigger. The problem is bad users, and they're more of a detriment to themselves than they are the creators they attack. Something I've never seen though, despite being the single most obvious course of action, is the victim suing the copyright abuser for financial damages, harassment, and copyright infringement, which is a winning case literally every single time. I can hear the rebuttal already, right? Oh, well, they're never going to pay the money, so why spend the time to fight it? And the answer is, you're not fighting for the money you lost. You're fighting to put restrictions on somebody. You're fighting for a ruling that prevents and deters terrible people from abusing the system again. When somebody claims your video fraudulently and you own the copyright to that video, that is verifiable copyright infringement with a paper trail and financial damages, and the relief should be removal of the user from the platform. You're not a dick when you sue people for legitimate reasons. But that's realistically why nobody takes the proper action. Aside from being expensive, content creator lawsuits are marred by stigma. Many of them are afraid to sue their attackers because they're at risk of making their own reputation look bad. There's a perception that it's petty, but it's not petty to protect your livelihood. Sue the fucking copyright abusers, dude. In my case, if somebody false claims or strikes one of my videos, the copyright being infringed isn't even mine. It's copyright owned by big record labels with big legal teams who will sue for infringement as often as it happens. That's not a fight anybody wants, because they will absolutely win. The fact that copyright abusers don't get sued constantly is crazy. This is why we have so much user control in the first place. You're supposed to use it. Moving on to another issue that is infinitely more annoying on a daily basis. The algorithm. Specifically thumbnails and titling. There was a time when creators stylized their thumbnails and titles to fit their specific content. It was very cinematic. We've seen a micro-scale return to form where people are doing normal thumbnails and direct titles again, but micro-scale doesn't push the needle one way or another. These days, it's impossible to open YouTube without seeing a list of clickbaity algorithm farming content. Even when you use the personalized tab on the home page. Asking for less clickbait will inherently give you more clickbait. You can specify every single detail you don't want and still get a steady stream of human-generated slop content. Not AI slop, human slop. I have a small list of identifiers that trigger my brain to say, this is garbage, without ever having to click on a video. If your content is an obviously edited tweet or obviously edited Discord chat in the thumbnail, a news channel bar unrelated to your own channel in the thumbnail, pictures of controversial figures with the big caption, it's over, or he fucked up, or something similar, a title like, you won't believe what happened, or insert celebrity breaks silence on a subject, a picture actually from the video with an aggressive caption that nobody ever actually says to each other, obviously AI generated pictures of people slapping each other, usually with a title like, blank does a thing, instantly regrets it, a white illustrative thumbnail with a big shock value caption and or a red arrow, literally anything with Home Alone face, any Mr. Beast related thing at all, a stupid thumbnail with two people who've never met and a title like when this occupation messes with real whatevers, any thumbnail that has the real subject material spoiled with a one-liner like when VTubers use a video screenshot and then just quote the most out-of-pocket part of the video, or the very classic big red letters and big red arrow, then you might be a human slop generator. No, I take that back, you are for sure a human slop generator. And do I blame you? No, because there's a gigantic casual viewer base for clickbait. That's why BuzzFeed survived for so long. Some people don't think about it. They see obvious clickbait, they don't register that it's obvious, and then they watch a 10 to 15 minute video almost completely unrelated to what they clicked on, and that's satisfactory for them. That doesn't make it less slop, but it presents an issue where it's impossible for non-slop to properly hit the algorithm in any meaningful way. So much so that creators I grew up watching are now slop nail and slop title tubers because for some reason they believe their audiences will abandon them for not slopifying their channel style. This is why I like my audience. It might not be massive, but it's real. People come and stay for the content. I'm not fueled by rampant ADHD appealing clickbait. I actually have the reverse worry. If I ever started doing the same clickbait slop that floods my own homepage, I would probably lose all of my real viewership. I see how people interact with slop content. It's an echo chamber where people click on multiple videos of one thing they're looking for, leave similar comments on all of them, and never actually watch the video. Too outright radical for me, dude. I will take watch time over clicks any day. Something that bugs me even more about it though, more than the content itself, the YouTube algorithm for viewers is very picky and choosy. You can watch hundreds of non-slop videos and your alt tab on the homepage will still get filled with slop you never asked for. The reverse is worse. If you so much as click on a single slop video, your entire homepage on every tab will suddenly be filled with algorithm farming slop content. My wife listens to various AI narrated Reddit stories, and we never watch them on my account. The one time she did, she watched a single 30-minute video, and suddenly I had to go through and manually click not interested in the drop-down menu for each video on my homepage. Saying I wasn't interested in a few didn't do it. I had to say not interested to dozens of videos before I got that shit out of my personalized algorithm. So not only does the platform plug an endless stream of unwanted slop content, it also forces you to see it even when you don't want it. YouTube's user feed tools literally don't do what they imply. It kind of feels predatory. I want to talk about one more thing, and I'll try to keep it brief. People love drama. There's a category of people who love drama so much that they're willing to spend an erroneous amount of money on it to keep it going. I'm not talking about the exposure essays or channels that upload streamers arguing with each other. How many times have you seen menace to society streamers on Twitch, Kick, TikTok, Instagram, or otherwise get big-ass donations encouraging them to be even bigger pieces of shit? Where does all that money come from? Since 2018, I have made $15 by way of content. In my entire 18-year run on YouTube, I have made a whopping $55 total, while the scum of the internet are all usually pulling in multiple big dollar donations for every single stream. I'm not saying pay me more money, even though that would be wonderful. I'm saying, why the fuck are people getting paid to be human garbage? Which is a valid question. I remember way back from like 2011 to 2015, we got this menace to society shit in the form of prank channels. And not like the funny haha I made you pee in your sleep pranks. We had a bunch of prank channels doing terrible things, faking pranks with extreme names, often with under-exaggerated consequences. It's people like that who forefathered the idea that people can just be huge pieces of shit to each other and laugh it off later. The difference between then and now is that shit was around 90% fake, with the occasional idiot who would do some real shit and get hurt or arrested. And people grew up watching a lot of that fake shit, not really knowing it was fake, leading to a lot of the very real parasites feeding on controversy content revenue by doing those fake terrible things for real. And this is what we were constantly warned about by loud voices who tried to point out the issues. People kept saying, this fake prank shit is going to get out of hand. People are going to do this for real because there are too many prank channels that don't tell their viewers it's staged. And that's exactly where we're at. We've even evolved farther a little bit. We've gone from fake prank channel doing a fake terrible thing to actors, to real human being doing terrible things to real people and calling them pranks, all the way up to real human beings doing terrible things to people for views without calling it pranks because the prank excuse doesn't actually work. It's frustrating that this garbage gets so much attention, but it's more frustrating that they get paid. The amount of money that they make being shit garbage trash people is incentive enough for teenagers to grow up into shit trash garbage adults who make everyone else miserable for a donation. People have this uncontrollable need to watch terrible things happen, even though the way to stop these terrible things from happening is to not watch them because that prevents exposure and revenue. And the revenue's the whole point. I'll go ahead and end all of this on a generalized note. The next time you see a creator complaining about AI-generated slop, call them out for never expressing that same opposition to the objectively worse swell of human-generated slop. Human-generated slop is more real-world damaging. It's why IRL streamers are getting arrested for being trash in other countries. It's why smashing their bones to look more like skeletons while they break down crying about cheese on a Big Mac is popular. Human-generated slop is an epidemic that grew from a seed into the Yggdrasil of algorithm farming. Humans produce more slop content than AI will ever be able to because humans have something AI will never have: monetary incentive. There's a lot of money to be made in making garbage content and being a garbage person. Do I think AI can be badly misused for terrible things in slop generation? Yeah, I do, but it doesn't even cut it close to how detrimental human slop content is. If you're new around here and you don't know who I am, a link to my main channel is below. I talk about games. It's pretty standard. If you want to help us support the cause a little bit, a link to tip is down there as well. I've got a few more main channel videos in production at the moment, and some other little stuff on the way for this channel, so if you want to stay up on what I'm doing, click the bell. YouTube doesn't always send notifications, but it can be helpful when it does if you really want to watch stuff. Until next time, thank you, and have a nice day.